Right now, flags are flying at half-staff in Washington in honor of former Secretary of State Colin Powell. He passed away this morning due to complications from COVID-19. His family says he was fully vaccinated. He was the first African-American Secretary of State. He was a decorated four-star general, a Vietnam War veteran, national security advisor, and the chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Powell's military career brought him to Fort Leavenworth. KMBC 9's Michael Mahoney says he has a lasting legacy on the post.
There is a bust of Colin Powell on the post. It is not far from the Buffalo Soldier Monument, a tribute to the black soldiers of the West. When Powell was on the post as part of the command staff, he would regularly jog by the gravel road named for the 9th Cavalry, one of the black regiments.
And he wondered, is this all that we have to commemorate Buffalo soldiers in the Army? And I think that was the birth of the dream of creating the Buffalo Soldier Monument here at Fort Leavenworth.
He helped organize and fundraise for the statue. And on his post statue, he is listed as the driving force of the monument.
My experience with General Powell was flying him back and forth either from Leavenworth to Washington or Washington back to Leavenworth.
Hugh Mills flew out of the Sherman Army Airfield on the post. He remembers a pre-dawn flight when Colin Powell poured a cup of coffee from the plane's galley.
And he just stuck it around to me and said, "You want a cup of coffee?" And it's the only time in a 26-year career a general ever made a cup of coffee for me.
K-State President Richard Myers was the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and served under Powell.
This term might not be understood by a lot. He was a normal human being, as normal as you can be with all he had accomplished.
Powell said his inaccurate claim of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq was a blot on his record. Myers says the CIA gave him that information.
I don't pin that on him.
So this post is part of the Colin Powell story. Michael Mahoney, KMBC 9 News, Fort Leavenworth.
Powell was also the keynote speaker when the Buffalo Soldier Monument was dedicated in 1992.
Doctors at the University of Kansas Health System say they are saddened by the loss of Powell. Though they don't know his medical history, they say fully vaccinated patients at the health system who die from COVID-19 have underlying health issues.
We know that these vaccines are not 100%, but they still have extremely high efficacy in preventing hospitalization, severe disease, and death.
CNN reports Powell is actively fighting multiple myeloma, a cancer of blood plasma that weakens the immune system. Doctors urge people in that age group to stay up to date on vaccinations and potential booster shots. Locally, the positivity rate in Kansas is rising. It is now at 7.6%. Normally, the Sunflower State has a lower rate than Missouri. However, Missouri is coming in at 7.4%.
New tonight, a child in Kansas has died from COVID-19. The state health department says the child was between 10 and 17 years old. No other details have been released. Kansas has now lost 4 children to COVID-19. The FDA advisory panel will also discuss Pfizer shots for kids ages 5 to 11 1 week from tomorrow, October 26th. The federal government has already bought enough doses for all Americans in that age group. Local vaccination rates are steadily rising for those eligible to get the COVID vaccine. Platte County is now at 49% of people fully vaccinated. On the Kansas side, Johnson County still reports almost 65% of people fully vaccinated.